What's up, Wow, that's the first time I've ever messed up my intro. I almost said, what's up, physical media? That makes no sense. What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in Physical Media. There it is, where we talk about every new release that's dropping this week on Blu-ray and 4K. All of these titles will be coming out Tuesday, tomorrow. That is April the 2nd already. We're already into April. Somebody made fun of me last week because I said April and I meant March. We are in April for real now, and it is April 1st, the night I am filming this. But it's not a joke. Walmart is apparently single-handedly leading the charge in saving physical media, at least in brick and mortar stores. We've got a lot of exclusive Steelbooks only available at Walmart, Lionsgate, Mondo. These are titles that are usually only available from Best Buy, but now they've moved over to Walmart, and we're going to be talking about that this evening. We shoot this show live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so feel free to join us. I have a great audience, and I love talking to you guys while we go through these new releases together. This is a very hands-on, conversational type of live stream. This is not me just talking at you. The chat really kind of controls where we're going to go with this conversation, so I love having you guys here, and I love having any of you guys watching after the fact. If you feel free to join us on Monday night, we'd love to have you. I'm about to go ahead and jump into the chat and see who's here this evening, and then we'll jump right in to the new releases. Not too big of a list to get through this evening, but we'll get it through it, and then we'll have the rest of the time for some conversation and some Q&A. So looking forward to a good, fun night with you guys. I can't wait to see what happens. All right, who's here in the chat? We have got Dan's Den is here. Always there. I think he's been every one of these. Good to have you, Dan. Internet User is here as well. CG Anime Fan, Connor Nielsen, Jeffrey Patron. Everybody just saying hi. Just pleasantries right now. Kevin House says hello to DJ. And the usual suspects. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing? Sam Fett is here. Good evening, all. I went overboard with the Kino sale. 21 Blu-rays ordered. Whoa, that is a lot of stuff. I can't wait to hear what you got. Steven Schroeder is here. Not a name that's always here, so welcome to the stream. And then we got Ignacio Averes Malo. Hi, finally had a chance to get to a live. Hey, welcome. It's always nice. Always makes me happy when we get a new face in here, or at least a new user profile in here. Kyle Hartman was the first one to leave a chat this evening. He says, good evening. I just got Anaconda Steelbook, Hollow Man Steelbook, getting Major League 4K. I want a Cutthroat Island Steelbook 4K and Red 4K Steelbook, but my Walmart in Canada does not have Steelbooks. Well, that is unfortunate. I know there's some Walmarts still aren't carrying it. I haven't had a chance to get out to my Walmart yet. I'm not a big Steelbook guy, so this news is more just for you guys that like Steelbooks. I'm not the biggest fan, but some of these are actually really cool, and I love the Lionsgate Steelbooks and even the Mondo Steelbooks. I think some of those that have those clear slip cases that kind of make them look more like a normal box set release on the shelf. So I kind of like those, and I do pick up some of those. So I might be interested in some of these as well. It's the first time we're getting some of these on 4K. I don't know. We'll talk about it. I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, you mentioned the Kino sale. Whew, there's been so many sales going on right now. I almost participated in the Arrow video sale that was happening. They had Arrow Academy titles for only $5. I think it might still be going on. I'm not sure, but I almost picked up a bunch of those. There's also the Kino sale going on, so hang on to your wallets, guys, because they are getting us from every angle. Who else is here? Michael Smith is here, and the Monster Builder, the Monster Builder Jose's collection is here. Very, very cool. Lots of you guys. Let's go ahead and jump in, and I'll talk to you guys periodically as we go through this. Be sure to share your thoughts on all of these titles as we go through. Let's switch over. Here is Blu-ray.com, all of the new releases that are coming out this week. Someone already mentioned this one. We're starting with Major League, which is getting a 4K restoration, and there are a couple different options you can get this week. First one we're going to look at is the most anticipated one, according to Blu-ray.com, and that is the Steelbook. This is a Paramount Pictures Steelbook, not exclusive. One of the only Steelbooks we're going to talk about this evening that is not exclusive to Walmart. You can get this one on Amazon right now for $24.99, which I will say all of the links to all of these, all the ones that are available on Amazon, I've put links in the description. If you would like to support the channel and you feel like you're already going to buy one of these movies anyway, I would really appreciate it if you would just go through that link. No extra charge to you, but it helps out the channel a little bit. But here we are. We've got Major League from 1989 getting a 4K release, and this is the Steelbook version. I'll open up the overview page. Look at that. Look at that. you get a lot of good stuff in here. It looks like a locker on the front. The inside also looks like the inside of a locker, which is very cool. And then on the back, same vibe. You've got the pictures taped back there on the back for some screenshots from the film. And it also comes with a customizable Major League magnets. Customizable. I don't know what that means. I don't know why they're customizable. They look just like magnets. That's kind of fun. Can you... Oh, I see what they're saying. They're saying they're customizable. You can customize your own Steelbook. This is actually very cool. I had not looked at this ahead of time. So you can put the magnets on the outside of the Steelbook, I presume, and kind of make your own Steelbook, because the front of the Steelbook is kind of pretty plain. There's some room there for the magnets, and on the back too. That's really cool. What a cool idea. I like that. See, I told you I'm not a big Steelbook fan, but that's really unique and thinking outside the box. Good job, marketing team, for Paramount. I think that's pretty cool. And there you go. That's what it looks like. There's the spine. That's what it looks like. It is a 4K and digital code only. There's no Blu-ray included in this one, which is fine. I don't know why you need a Blu-ray these days if you're already a 4K collector. But that's very exciting. That's very cool. More 80s movies, more R-rated 80s movies getting 4K restorations. And if you do not like Steelbooks, even though that one seems like a really cool one, if you're not a big Steelbook fan, you can also get the Standard edition for a little bit cheaper. This one's $22.98 on Amazon, also from Paramount Pictures, also 4K and digital. Pretty much everything is exactly the same. You're just getting a standard release packaging. Not sure if it has a slipcover or not. Oh, it does. It does. So there's the slipcover. So if you're a slipcover fan over Steelbooks, there you go. You got a nice looking Steelbook or slipcover there. Looks like original artwork, which is pretty cool. I like that studios are getting in on the original artwork bandwagon. So two different options there. I'm sure there's maybe a Blu-ray release. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say there's probably a Blu-ray re-release coinciding with this, but I don't see one. So maybe it is just the 4K option. All right, let's continue moving forward we'll just do the top row, and then I'll jump back and talk to you guys in the chat. All right, the next one is actually one that I'm quite interested in, a movie I've never seen, but a pirate movie, Cutthroat Island, getting a 4K and Blu-ray and digital combo pack. This is one of those Lionsgate Films Steelbooks that I was talking about. Walmart exclusive. And look at this. Well, maybe if I click on the right link and not show you the back of it first. Look at this. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Nice Lionsgate Steelbook with a clear slip that has kind of stuff coming in on the spine there. Looks awesome. I love the inside of it. Got some custom artwork on the inside and on the outside. This looks like a full-on boutique release. I love these Lionsgate Steelbooks. The Rand Steelbook that they did a couple years ago is one of the most beautiful Steelbooks I've ever seen. And I kind of want to get this one too. You guys will have to let me know what Cutthroat Island is like. I know it's a pirate movie. I know it's probably a little campy because it is a 90s adventure fantasy movie, but it seems right up my alley. Action, adventure, a little bit of romance, a little bit of comedy. Yeah. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I think that might be the thing that gets me to go out to Walmart and check out their Steelbook section, because that one looks pretty cool. Unless everyone in the comments says it's terrible, then we'll see. But I think that one seems like something I'll be interested in. And then also we have Haine getting a 4K release from Criterion. We got to talk about Criterion every single week. That's the whole thing that started this channel, and I still like talking about it, even though I've been branching out lately and checking out other studios and labels. And I haven't really been watching too much Criterion, although I have lately, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I got a little stack here of stuff I've been watching and buying recently, so maybe that comes up a little bit later. But yeah, very, very, very famous Criterion title release. I hear about this one all the time. Even people who aren't big Criterion people, I feel like this one is one of the first movies that people see when they get into the Criterion collection. At least some people have said this in my comments as a recommendation for newbies getting into the Criterion collection. 1995 indie movie, one of the greats, one of the big ones. One of the kind of I guess classic. Iconic, specifically two Criterion titles that I hear people talking about. So I gotta check it out. I always need to see more 90s films. I was a kid in the 90s. I was 3 when this movie came out, so I need to catch up on that. So I haven't seen that one yet, but I know a lot of people are excited about that, getting a 4K release. So that's very exciting. Let me know if you're gonna be picking that one up. I'm gonna switch over to the main cam here, and we will see what people are saying. Oh, the chat is busy tonight. So good to see all of you here. Sam Fett ordered the Claudette Colbert movies. I didn't have a few others. excuse me, the ones from Colbert that he didn't have, and a few others. Dan's Den, Major League is an 80s comedy I enjoy, but it has a lot of elements that would make today's audience cringe. Oh, interesting. So maybe doesn't hold up in that specific regard, but probably still pretty fun. Ethan Edwards, I ordered a lot of the $5 Arrow and a few more expensive ones and got an email that most are delayed. They're sending, I think, 3 now and the rest later. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and say, just because I wasn't able to make the order, I was planning on getting Story of Sin and I can't remember what the other one was called. That's about kind of a woman who was kind of in and out of like freak shows and circuses. That seemed really interesting to me. And then there was a third one about a French comedy about 2 families that seemed really interesting. So I almost picked up 3 of the $5 ones, and I was going to pick up Gosford Park because it was only 15. I had them all in my cart and ready to go. And I waffled back and forth and waited too long. And then Story of Sin sold out, and it just kind of, I was like, forget it. I'll wait till later to pick these up. I wasn't like dying to get any of them, but I did want to pick them up while they were cheap, and I fumbled it. I messed it up. I waited too long, and I messed up my order. But I'm glad some people were able to pick those up while they were so cheap. Connor says, I'm surprised Arrow Video hasn't gotten on Cutthroat Island. Yeah, that seems like an Arrow Video release. Maybe it's just the studio hangups. There's so many movies that would look so good with Arrow's signature artwork on their slipcases, those limited edition slipcases they do, especially fantasy. I think they look great, and I would love them to get more, but I don't know. Sometimes rights are hard, I guess, or maybe they just, I don't know. Who knows why, but yeah, that seems like a good one. Ethan Edwards says he's from Cleveland and a lifelong Indians Guardians fan, so Major League has a personal connection. Oh, interesting. Michael Smith says, DJ, I know you appreciate this. About to get 5-second run check titles from Orbit. Interesting. I love check titles, and I am a big fan of second runs, so that is awesome. You have to let me know which ones you got. Dan's Den says Cutthroat Island is the biggest bomb of all time. Oh, man. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean I won't like it. I like a lot of movies that don't resonate with the masses. Brian Hatzel, tonight, I don't know who this is. This guy doesn't have a name. He is just an emoji. And he says, you're the GOAT, or you the GOAT. I don't know if he's talking about me. If you are, I really appreciate it. But yeah, thanks, man. Nacho is here. And Brian Hatzel says, tonight my son asked to watch the new Easter movie he got this morning, Ernest and Celestine. He's been loving it so far. He just drew a picture of a mouse and a bear, just like the movie. That is a great, fantastic animated movie out of France, and you are a great parent for showing that to your son. A G Kids release. There's also, I think it's a Wheat Collection, or maybe it's a M Life. There's some kind of one of those Asian like luxury box sets has a really nice release of that, and I'd love to get it, but it's like $80 on secondhand on eBay, so I probably won't get that version. I'll probably get the G Kids release. And I don't know if you know this, Brian, but there is a sequel that just came out last year to Ernest and Celestine. I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but I'm wanting to watch that one too, because I also watched the first one with my kids, and they liked it quite a bit, and I loved it. Beautiful, interesting, unique animation style. So good on you for showing that to your son. That's a great one. Dan's Den also following up says, it's a confusing movie, but there's some fun elements there. Frank Langella steals the show again. Interesting. Yeah, Cutthroat Island. I don't know. Here we go. Monster Builder says, it's good. What's weird is that it's been on the Steelbook section at my Walmart for a while. Yeah, I've heard some of that. I've seen some people picking up Steelbooks like ahead of time before they're coming out. I don't know. Walmart's new to this whole Steelbook thing, so maybe they got to sort some things out. Let's see. Hey, I don't know what to call this person. Emoji guy is back. Hey, you got a kid, right? What's a good time to take my kid to a theater? She's about to turn 3. Loves Shrek, Frozen, and the classics, etc. That's a great question. I held off on taking my kids to the theater for a long time, but not necessarily because they couldn't sit in the theater, but more because of the movies I wanted to start them with. I was starting them with more classic stuff, and I think the first movie that they got to see was Kiki's Delivery Service and Totoro and like Wizard of Oz. So I got to show them some classic stuff. I think it depends on the kid. My son is much more of a sit and stay calm and kind of relax and just focus on what's on the screen. My daughter, who is 2 years younger than him, is much more of a doer, and she likes to be doing things and playing it by herself. She is much more good at using her own imagination and keeping herself busy. And then my son is much more of wants to kind of get lost in TV or video games or stories or stuff like that. So it depends on the kid. My son was able to do it earlier. I don't know. Yeah. But for 3 is right around the age where you have to make a decision. I might wait till like 4 or 5, but like I said, my kids, my daughter has gone, so it just depends on the movie. Something she's really interested in, she'll sit through. But if it's not really her thing, she'll kind of distract herself and take care of herself in other ways. Nacho says Cutthroat Island, not that good film. The Steelbook art is better. See, that's how they get you, man. Especially with boutiques, they can make some stinker of films look like masterpieces with that custom artwork. And I mean, I've fallen for it sometimes, but I don't think there's any examples where I just flat out hated the movie. I think, and maybe it's because I paid $40 for a movie and I want to find something redeemable in it, but usually with all the Arrow titles I've bought before, I find something redeemable that I like, and I'm glad that I've picked them all up. I haven't regretted any big major purchases. So we'll see. I'm watching Conan the Destroyer, not tomorrow, but Wednesday, having a couple friends over. We're going to watch that sequel to our movie night that we had a couple months ago when we watched the first Conan movie, which we quite enjoyed. We'll see if the sequel holds up as well. Nacho says Haine, though, is awesome. Black Venus. Thank you, Ethan Edwards. Black Venus is the one that I was, and still might, pick up from the Arrow sale. But I was really bummed that I missed out on Story of Sin, because I was really looking forward to that one, and I just waited around too much. All right, there's quite a bit more here, but I'm going to jump back because I feel like it's been too long since I've said any new titles, and I don't want to lose any of the people that are here specifically for the titles. All ladies do it 4K. We talked about this last week. I guess this one got pushed back a little bit, but I won't go into it again. But that's that 1992 film. But yes, Red 2 film collection. So it's Red 2 and Red 1. This is another Walmart exclusive Steelbook coming to 4K Blu-ray and digital combo pack. This is a Lionsgate. This is another beautiful looking Steelbook. Look at that. Not a clear Steelbook, or not a clear slipcover on this one. This is actually a full slipcover, kind of similar to the Wonder one that I got back there. But this looks nice. This is a 2-film collection. I never saw the Red films. I don't know how interested I would be in the Red films. I'm not a big spy movie guy. And I know these are kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to demean them by just saying they're about old actors doing spy stuff. I know there's more to them than that. And I know they're based on comic book source material, which is really cool. So I might check these out. I heard they're fun, but I don't know if I need to get these ones. But like I said, the packaging will get you. I love this kind of concept of packaging too. This is very similar to the Locker one we just saw for Major League. It kind of looks like a real tangible thing with layers. It looks like a file that you would get like if you're a secret agent or something. I like the touch of having little coffee stains and the tape on the front and back. Very cool looking release. That should be available at your Walmarts as well. You're not going to be able to get that on Amazon, so sorry if you're in Canada, like one of our viewers said, or if you're in other countries. I can't give you a link for that one, but that looks like a pretty cool release if you're into those films. Those are early 2010s that they came out, 2010 and 2013. I've heard fun things about those ones. Let me clear my throat and take a little sip. Moving on to more 4K Steelbooks for Walmart shoppers only. We've got another. Lionsgate's dropping a ton. And I think these are all new. I don't think these are re-releases of any. Maybe they are. Let me know if I'm wrong. But this is the Lionsgate Walmart exclusive for First Blood, the first Rambo movie we'll talk about tonight. It is a 4K Blu-ray and digital. I think all of these are all 3 formats. And the overview is right there. Not... I don't know, not as interesting as the other two, just because those two were so creative. But this one looks nice. It's got a full slipcover. Looks really good. Kind of looks like a Mondo slipcover. But this is also a opaque slipcover. It's not translucent. And it's got a nice black spine there, black and red. It's good. This is good. Totally serviceable. This is a movie I need to see because this is... I feel like I hear that while the full Rambo franchise might not appeal to me, I think this one probably would. I think this is very different than what the franchise became. Like a lot of 80s franchises, I feel like that is a much smaller, more intimate film and then kind of became a crazy action, very similar to Rocky in that vein. And the first Rocky is my favorite, so maybe I'll check out First Blood. I don't know what the price point is on these. I need to, because they only showed if it's for Amazon, but I need to check that one out. And then we've got one more here in the second row, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys. We've got Handgun getting a Blu-ray. This is also called Deep in the Heart. I don't know if that's a second title. I'm not sure what that is, but this is from Fun City Editions, which is a I don't think, a label we've ever talked about on here, but it is getting a pretty cool release with a different slipcover here. Yeah, that one says, the slipcover says Deep in the Heart, but the inside artwork says Handgun. So I don't know what the story is on here. I don't know if it's 2 different movies or if it's just a different title. But it says, shortly after moving to Dallas, a young woman is raped at gunpoint. Her intense anger drives her to seek revenge, and she becomes a hunter on a vengeance mission. So a revenge thriller, a crime movie, a drama, coming out from Fun City Edition. So that's a unique one. I like that. I like when we talk about these unique, off the beaten path titles. Obviously, I like talking about the big stuff too. We're going to talk about some Marvel movies here in a bit. So those are some big releases, but this is a nice small release, another R-rated release. Lots of R-rated films this week. This is not a kids week. This is very much deep into the R-rated films, but this is 1983, another 80s thriller, kind of in line with what we talked about last week. So we're kind of all over the map so far this week. Lots of different things coming out, lots of new releases. I love to see it. I love to see it. Who is here in the chat? Steven Schroeder says he ordered the Second Sight 4K box set of Green Room and The Witch 4K. Not Second Run, Second Sight he's talking about. And that is a label that I've never gotten into yet. I know they put out some beautiful releases, but they're very pricey. So I'm going to have to wait for them to put out like one of my favorite movies before I shell out the 50 or 60 bucks for their releases. Gaming Canvas, a name I don't immediately recognize. Welcome to the stream. Do you think the Bob Marley One Love Steelbook will become valuable in the future? I have no idea. It all depends. Like sometimes I feel like the No Way Home Steelbook, I heard that one went out of print and people were asking insane prices on eBay, and then it just came back in print and it's at Walmart's and you can get it anywhere. So sometimes they go out of print and they become valuable. Sometimes they come right back. So I don't know. I am not an estimator. I am just a collector. I don't buy things with the intention to sell. I just buy things that I like, that I intend on keeping. Let's see. Bailey Walsh is here. Alden is here. He watched the new Ghostbusters today with his wonderful sister. I do not get to see her enough. Review up tomorrow if anyone cares. Yeah, I've heard very mixed things about that one. I've heard people that like it better than the last one, and I've heard people that like it a lot less than the last one. But yeah, I'm not a huge Ghostbusters guy. But yeah, I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Kevin House says the first film I watched in the theater was Disney's animated The Jungle Book when I was 5 in late '67. I was enthralled. Yeah, Jungle Book's great, especially for small kids. I feel like that one's actually better. I actually recommend people show their kids shorts to start out with, and then transition to those kind of vignette films like Jungle Book and a few others where it's just kind of a series of shorts put together with like a simple framework. It's not really a cohesive narrative, so they can keep their attention span when they don't have, full attention spans of an older child. So Jungle Book's a great one because there's kind of little mini stories in there that can keep their attention. That's a good one, Kevin. Nacho says the Red movies are fun, and that yes, Red First Blood is good. Let's see. Dan's Den is here. Says the Rainbow series gets more and more ultra conservative as it goes on. It's kind of entertaining, but I also hate it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any of them, but I feel like obviously I'm going to start with First Blood if I ever do get around to them. Connor Nielsen, it's kind of wild how the number of titles released each week has diminished significantly since Best Buy got out of the physical media game. That's true, but it kind of goes up and down because I think last week we had so much stuff to talk about. I couldn't even talk to you guys very much. So I feel like there's big weeks and small weeks. This is a smaller week, but last week was a massive week. Let's see. People talking about first movies they saw in the theater. Dan's Den says Toy Story was the first one. Connor Nielsen says Bug's Life and Toy Story 2. So yeah, very interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to talking about that in a little bit. I actually don't remember what the first movie I saw was. We're going to go ahead and get into Stigmata, which this is interesting. I actually am interested to talk about this. If you didn't see it, I just posted a video of my top 10 digibooks on the channel, also called Mediabooks, and that video did pretty well. Thank you guys for the engagement on that one. I had a good time talking about that, and I'd like to do more of those, just kind of talking videos about my current collection. I don't want everything to be just look at this new thing I bought. Look at this new thing I bought. I want to talk about kind of my favorite things and do more recommendation videos like that. So that was fun. That was a success, and I'm glad. I hope I can do more of those in the future. But this is a digibook. This is a media book from MPI Media Group, and it's Stigmata, which is a straight up horror film, but it's encouraging that there are companies still doing media books, because that was the main takeaway from that video. Is everyone in the comments is like, I miss digibooks. Nobody talks about digibooks anymore, and I feel the same way. But there are some studios that are still doing it. Mostly, I feel like overseas, like Germany does a ton of media books. But I think this one, this one's just an American company, MPI Media Group. This is a Blu-ray and DVD media book. I have not seen Stigmata, but I love that it's getting a media book, and it looks like it's really nice too. I'll show you the front here. Got some cool artwork. I don't know if that's the original poster or not, but look at that. Nice thick media book. Very cool. Very cool. Starring Patricia Arquette. Only $20 on Amazon right now. It's $10 off if you want to grab that one. 1999 film. 1999 looks like a religious horror film. It's got some crucifixes on there. But yeah, there you go. If you don't like media books, though, and you just want a cheaper standard edition, they also have the standard version here for only $17.98. So if you are a collector that wants to conserve space or wants to conserve money in your bank account, you can get the single edition with the exact same artwork. But I don't know. I would go for the media book version if I was going to pick this up, because I love media book versions, and that one looks really good. We've got a little small. I actually haven't heard of this. I think this is a Japanese movie called Baby Assassins 2, which is getting a release. There's the front of that. Looks like kind of like a preteen action movie starring some female protagonists, an action comedy from Japan, I believe. I guess I shouldn't say that, but I believe so. Coming out from Wellgo USA. This is a 2023 movie. Just came out. I would be surprised if anyone in the audience has seen this one, but if you have, let me know what that one is like. I had not heard of that until I looked at it before I started the show today. And then finishing up our Steelbook section from Walmart. Maybe we'll have some more in a minute, but this is the last Rambo one. So we started with First Blood, and now we're jumping all the way to Rambo Last Blood, also getting a Walmart exclusive with the exact same art style. You've got Rambo going down the center and him kind of interacting with the text. I'll show you the photo of this here, but same exact style. I don't know if you remember the first one we talked about, but he's kind of coming through the text, and you've also got his weapon of choice on the inside, like we did on the last one, and another slipcover. This slipcover, although is mostly translucent, which is very cool when you can kind of slide it off. But yeah, that's Rambo Last Blood. So very, very different movies. I hear First Blood and Last Blood are very, very different, but I feel like people know what they're getting. If you like those films, there it is, the 2019 version. Only 89 minutes. Very short movie for today. Usually we have much longer movies. And then we've got a few more rows here. We're going to get into the Marvel releases here in a second. We've got some beautiful Mondo Steelbooks going to Walmart. So we'll talk about those in a minute. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. We have got a lot of people popping in. You might have to repost your questions because I'm getting behind. Dan's Den says Stigmata is the same year that Gabriel Byrne played the devil in End of Days. He played the priest in Stigmata. Not a good movie though. Okay. Dan's Den has seen everything, so I kind of take his word for things sometimes because he seems to be way more knowledgeable than I am. I don't know how he has enough time in the day to see all these things. I also don't know Dan's Den's age. I would assume he's older than I think. I don't know. I feel like he's older than I assumed he was. Jeffrey Patron, first film I watched was presumably The Rock in theaters, 1996. Wow, that's a doozy to see first. I don't know how old you were though. Connor Nielsen says Paramount Presents announced its next title, Chinatown in 4K. I saw that. I did see the release. So plus, as a bonus, the Jack Nicholson directed sequel, The Two Jakes, as a bonus feature. That's really cool. Jack Nicholson getting a little revival in physical media. If you didn't see it, I think it just came out yesterday from Vinegar Syndrome. Cinematograph just released. What's it called? Going South, which is a Western directed by Jack Nicholson as well. The Digibook video, like I just mentioned, a lot of people in the comments were telling me to jump on that Cinematograph bandwagon, and because they're beautiful releases, and I'm super tempted, but they are expensive, especially the Red Rock West one is already out of print and going for astronomical prices on eBay. So I don't know if I'm going to jump on that bandwagon or not, but I really like them, and I'd love to have those. We'll see. TBD on whether I jump into those or not. CG Anime Fan, I still haven't seen a single Rambo film. Well, yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. We'll see if I can change that. Connor says I did not much care for Last Blood. Yeah, that one I think was very polarizing. I don't know if it was polarizing or if it was just everyone kind of unanimously didn't like it. Dell on Movies, hey, what's up? He says, what's up? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking movies as always. Ethan Edwards says it gets out of hand. I had Chinatown on VHS, then DVD, then Blu-ray, and now I have to resist upgrading again. Yeah, I'm lucky. I didn't really start collecting till Blu-ray, so I've only had to go through one of these big upgrade problems, but I know some people, especially some people on my channel, have been doing this for years and years and years and years before I was born, and I feel for those people that have to update, keep updating things over and over. But you know, keep the ones that work and update your favorites. Just stick to updating your favorites. All right, let's go ahead and jump back over here. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy getting a 4K Mondo. Now these are like, Mondo goes way back for me. I remember these were like one of the first things that I never really shopped at Best Buy. Best Buy kind of completely missed me. I always thought Disney started doing those until like Infinity War or Captain Marvel. No, Captain Marvel, was it? I know they started doing it much later. I think it was Infinity War, because I have the 4K of Infinity War. But these I don't have on 4K. I don't have Guardians. I don't have the other ones we're going to talk about. And these look really cool. These are all completely custom artwork. I don't think they have slipcovers. I can't tell. I've only got one image here. But these are Marvel Studios limited edition collectible steelbooks. This is Mondo number 40. Says right here. They have spine numbers on these as well. We've got Howard the Duck here on the spine, which is very weird because he's only in the after credit scene. But this is the first Guardians movie. You can see very nice artwork. Love the title. Fits the movie very well. And he's holding the Power Stone right up there. And I didn't even notice this the first time, but you've got Thanos in the background in the cloud artwork back there. You've also got Nebula back there over here. Very, very cool. Very cool artwork. These are awesome. And I think this is the cool way to get these on 4K if you don't already have them that way. And again, I don't know if they actually have been released. Don't need to talk about the movie because everybody knows what Guardians of the Galaxy is. So we'll jump right into the next one here. The next one on the list is Avengers, all the way back from 2012. The original Avengers film, getting a Walmart exclusive steelbook. These are 4K Blu-ray and digital. I don't know if I said that the first time, but this is from Disney Buena Vista, which is really cool and encouraging to see because Disney is all over the place. Sometimes they do great physical media stuff and sometimes they don't put out anything. So we've got a nice release here with Loki in the background, all the Avengers right there in the front. Another weird choice for the spine. It just has Black Widow right there on the spine. I don't actually think you can see that because it's off my screen, but there she is. This is spine number 39. And there you go. You've got a very cool, I like the artwork. I like the artwork on these. I don't have any Mondo Steelbooks. I'd like to finally get some of these. I don't love the first Avengers. I know I'm out on an island on that one. That one is one of my least favorite Marvel movies, at least up to a point. I know they've kind of fallen off at this point, so there's much lesser Marvel movies, but yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites. Doctor Strange is getting a 4K. This one's really cool. I like the artwork on this one. I feel like I've seen this artwork before, which is what leads me to believe that this might be a re-release. Maybe they used this for the Blu-ray and now they're using it for the 4K, but this is another Mondo exclusive steelbook. This is number 41. It does not have a weird picture of someone on the spine. It has the eye of just the amulet there, right there on the side. But this one looks awesome. I like the artwork on this one quite a bit. This one actually gives me like 70s comic vibes, like horror comic vibes almost. Looks really good. That one is actually probably my favorite. I think if I was going to pick up any, I might pick up that one. I don't have that movie on 4K. And then also the fourth one coming out. These are all look very different, which is kind of unfortunate. I wish these kind of looked more like they were part of the same piece, but I guess they're trying to match the style of the film instead of making them as a set. So we've got Black Panther here, same deal, 4K Blu-ray and digital, getting a Walmart exclusive steelbook from Mondo. This one looks very different than the other ones. This is a completely different art style, kind of more in line with the actual advertising and poster for that film with the angles going everywhere. But this one is a nice artwork too. I like the artwork. I like you got Killmonger right there in the back, all the characters, and then another spine number 42 for Black Panther. So there you go. Kind of an odd assortment. I don't know why we went from 2012's Avengers all the way to Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014, and then Doctor Strange 2016, and Black Panther in 2018. We're kind of jumping all over the place, but maybe they just thought those ones would sell better. But I like them. I think they look good. I think it's a cool way to get those if you missed them when they came out, or if you just want a 4K option. Those look really good. So you can find those at your local Walmarts here in the next couple weeks. They should have them. And then we've got Amy the Visitor, which is something I have no idea what it is. This is from Full Moon Features, very little independent label, I believe. Amy the Visitor is getting a Blu-ray release, his little sci-fi horror thriller film about a misanthropic computer hacker who generally prefers the company of computers to humans. This is a 2023 brand new film. If anyone's heard of that one, that's getting a physical release. That's encouraging to see smaller films getting physical releases. And speaking of, we've got Four Daughters getting a release from Kino Lorber, which is interesting. This is a movie that came out just last year and I heard a lot of buzz about. with the indie circuit, and it's coming from Kino Lorber. They're putting out a brand new release, which I know they do, but I don't think of them immediately as putting out contemporary releases. So that's really cool. That is coming out from Kino Lorber, so check that one out if you loved it last year and you want a physical copy of it. All right, few more random things to talk about, but let's go ahead and talk to people in the chat because I went through a lot there, a whole bunch of stuff. All right. What are people saying? Ethan Edwards says, is everyone getting a lot of ads popping up today? I hope not. I don't know. I don't have control over where those pop up in live streams. I hate that I can't really play. I guess I can't place them. I guess I could place them maybe after the fact. I'm not sure how it works. Live streams are weird. Sorry if that's happening to some people. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Nacho says, what is Best Buy? LOL. Well, it's too late now. You don't need to know because there's no reason to go there anymore unless you need a washing machine or something. Nacho, but he does like the Guardians of the Galaxy one. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's probably my second favorite after the Doctor Strange one. Brent Madison says, apparently those Mondo Steelbooks are in-store only, not going to be available on the website, confirmed by someone at Walmart. I guess 2 per store. Ooh, wow. Mine had them. I wonder why in-store only. Odd. 2 per store. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe get out tomorrow and see if you can find some of those. Maybe I'll go out. Maybe I'll go out tomorrow and check out a Walmart and see if I can find some. Connor says the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are great. He likes them. CG anime fan. I don't like the Avengers 2. Oh, also not a fan of the first Avengers. Connor Nielsen says, DJ, did you see that Disney announced 2 more Star Wars and 2 more Marvel Disney Plus shows for Blu-ray and 4K Steelbooks set for release April 30th? I did see that. I think that was Moon Knight and Falcon and Winter Soldier. I can't remember which ones they announced. It was 2 that I hadn't seen, and so I wasn't really excited about it. I would love them to review or to release Hawkeye. That was one that I actually did see and I liked quite a bit. So hopefully they get around to that one. That is encouraging though that they're still releasing those. I don't know how long ago they had those in the queue. I don't know if that was before they decided to switch over to Sony or if they're going to continue doing those, but that's great news if that is true because that's really cool. Jeffrey Patron says it's pop art meets Steve Ditko a little bit, in my opinion, for the Doctor Strange cover. Yeah, I really like that one. That one looks really cool. Dell says I need the first Avengers and first Guardians on 4K. Yeah, those will be great to get on 4K. It seems like that's the first time. Is this more of a monumental occasion than I'm making it out to be? Maybe it's the first time they're on 4K. I don't know. I haven't seen those on 4K before. I mean, they're digital, of course, but physical media is what we're talking about here. Connor says if this trend continues, their next Disney Plus physical release will hit in late November, early December, which signals a Hawkeye release. Hey, we're on the same page, Connor. I'd love to watch that around Christmas time again. That'd be fun if they release that. I hope that lines up well. Brian Hadsel, those Marvel Steelbooks are gorgeous. If I didn't already own all of those in regular, boring old editions. Yeah, that's how they get you, man. I don't know if I want to start picking up Steelbooks for those because then my collection will be all like uneven and I'll just have like some in 4K, some in Steelbook, some in regular. Oh, I might actually be doing that. Someone asked me in the Digibook video comments to do a video where I go through my entire superhero movie collection. So I might do that pretty soon. That'll be a fun video that I can do. And I haven't been picking superhero movies up recently. I've kind of fallen off that bandwagon. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be a fun video, little collection video I can do, kind of like the Christmas one I did last year. So let me know if you want to see that one. If you want to see me talk about superhero movies, which I don't usually do on this channel. And when I do, people don't seem to care. So I don't know. I might be shooting myself in the foot with that one. But I think I've got a diverse audience here. Some people here for Criterion and some people here for other stuff. So I might do that. Connor says, I think a couple of those are reissues. I could have sworn I've seen that Black Panther art at Best Buy some years back. Yeah, I think the art is, but I just can't tell if they are the first time on 4K or not. Nacho says Four Daughters was a solid documentary, so maybe check that one out. CG Anime Fan says Moon Knight is the second best of the Disney Plus MCU shows so far. In my opinion, WandaVision's still the best. Yeah, so it's great that those are both out on physical media if you want to pick both of those up, since those are your 2 favorites. And Jeffrey Patron says, interesting mix of movies tonight. Certainly. Yeah, this is a very diverse. Usually we have kind of a theme that we go through, that we discover as we go through these, but we're all over the place tonight. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get back to it so I can wrap this up for the people here for the new releases, and then we'll just chat. So throw in some questions or comments because we're flying through these tonight. Only 40 minutes in. We'll go for another 20, 30 minutes here. This is, let's see, what else is coming out? Messiah of Evil, which we've already talked about on the show, but this is the standard edition. I want to talk about this because we've been talking a lot about Radiance films recently, and they have some really nice packaging that looks similar to Criterion's, but this standard edition looks completely different. So they did a limited edition for this one. I think it had a slipcase and everything, and this is just a standard. So it's interesting to know that Radiance Films is doing standard editions after the limited editions run out, which makes sense. A lot of labels, especially boutique labels, are doing that these days. So if you want to hold out, I'll look at the price on this one. Only $25 for the standard edition. And you can get that one on Amazon. Radiance sells through Amazon here in the United States. We've got a couple other real random things here. We've got Fioretta, Gravitas Ventures, which is a label we've talked about quite a bit. Very, very low budget label coming out. This is Fioretta from 2023. I feel like we're going to get a lot of 2023 films that nobody's heard of towards the end of this list, because that's usually what we get. We've also got Spiked from 2021, getting another release from Gravitas Ventures. I'm happy that Gravitas is putting out these lesser known films. That's cool. Even though it's not films that I'm excited about or have heard of, I like that they're still putting physical media releases out for these. That's very cool, and they're all around $20. They're pretty cheap. Probably not a lot of bells and whistles. Probably not a lot of bonus features, but at least they're putting these films out. They're also putting out Home. It's getting a Blu-ray release from them from 2020, which is a year that I saw nothing in theaters. I don't know about you guys. Theaters were closed. I didn't see barely any new releases from 2020, so I want to catch up on that year. They're also putting out Lancaster from 2022, which is a documentary film about the Lancaster bomber, synonymous with the dam busters and night raids on Nazi Germany. So an uplifting film, it sounds like. We've also got Finding Kendrick Johnson coming out on Blu-ray from Gravitas Ventures. They almost need their own spotlight video at this point. They're dropping so much stuff. Also $20 on Amazon. Lots of documentaries coming out from them. They're also releasing some Christmas movies, because why not? I don't know. The Christmas Dance coming out from Gravitas 2021 looks like just your standard Hallmark Christmas movie, but just not made from Hallmark. And then also from Gravitas, they're putting out the Christmas Collision on Blu-ray for $19.99. So all of these you can check on the site. Lots of brand new releases from the last 3 years coming out from Gravitas, and they're all right around that $20 price tag. They're all right here at the bottom. They dropped a ton of them right here at the beginning of the month, so you can check all those out there. Big story this week, though, is Walmart getting these exclusive Steelbooks. A lot of stuff coming out this week, but like I said, someone in the chat mentioned that these are not going to be, might not be available for very long, so maybe run out. And if you want them, I'm not trying to push Walmart or anything. I don't get anything out of that. They're not a sponsor, but if you want those Marvel ones, maybe run out sooner rather than later. In a lot of those 80s action movies, I didn't hear much about Cutthroat Island, so I don't know if I should check that one out or not. But if it's not too expensive, maybe I'll check it out. But a fun week, a very different week. We've been talking about a lot about boutique releases here lately, especially over the last couple months. They've been killing it. First week of the month seems like they're kind of chilling out, and the boutique labels are taking a break and not releasing too much, but Lionsgate and Mondo stepping in to fill out the resume for this week. So go out and check out those releases if you're interested. Like I said, all the ones that are available on Amazon, links are in the description, and I'll leave a pinned comment after the show is over, and you can check those out if you would like to support the show. But for the last 30 minutes or so here, I'm just going to talk to you guys in the live chat, and we'll have some fun, talk about some things I've been watching lately and buying lately. So let me know what you guys are watching lately, what you're buying lately, and we'll just keep going with this stream. All right, who is next? Nacho says, yes, do that superhero video faux show. Okay, well, there's another vote for that video. I probably will. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of where I started collecting, way back in my high school and early college years. The only thing I collected was superhero movies, and that just kind of kept steamrolling along, and then I started collecting sci-fi movies, fantasy movies, and then eventually, when I finally got into classic movies, started collecting the Criterion collection, and then now that has just blossomed into all the boutique labels, and you can see it's out of hand. It's out of control. But started with superhero movies, so they'll always have a special place in my heart. And I'd love to talk about those because I haven't had a chance to talk about them in a long time because I haven't been enjoying them in a while. Caveman Movies and More. Hey, that's a new name I don't recognize. Welcome to the stream. Hey there, everyone. Please hit the like button in honor of the announcement for the upcoming release of G.I. Jane 2, starring Jada Pinkett Smith with special appearance of Chris Rock. There we go. There we go. We need more April Fool's Day jokes in this video. I didn't have anything planned. I actually thought about maybe doing an April Fool's Day video this year, but then it just so happened that it fell on a live stream day, and I don't know how to... I couldn't really think of anything to do on a live stream that was April Fool's related. So no April Fool's Day video this year, unfortunately. Hopefully next year we can do something. My wife actually got fooled earlier this morning. She showed me a post that was about Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan joining forces to direct a movie produced by Martin Scorsese. She showed it to me, and then she read the title of the film. That was some ridiculous title. She's like, oh, never mind. Gus, hey, Gus is here. Love you, Gus. Thank you so much. I didn't even mention, but yeah, if you would like to support the channel, you can always put in a super chat. I really appreciate it. Gus is the man. Thank you so much, Gus. He's the MVP. Because he always pops in. Thank you for that. I'll take that $5 and I'll go pick something up in the Arrow sale. Pick up Black Venus. Finally get a chance to watch that. I've been wanting to watch that for a while. Actually, no, because YouTube's not going to give me the full $5. They're going to take their 30% or whatever they take. But good to see you, Gus. Always happy to have you on the stream. Senior Sticks says, get him espresso. What's that? Is the energy down tonight? Am I not lively enough for you? Sorry, Senior Sticks. Nacho says Fioretta is good. Oh, that's good to hear. I haven't heard of that one. Let's see, what else are people saying here? That's a good observation. Dan Stan says there's a lot of movies called Home. There are a lot of movies called Home, including that super annoying DreamWorks movie. With the guy from that show I can't stand, what's his name? The Big Bang Theory guy. Basically, I haven't seen the movie, so I guess I shouldn't judge, but I remember the trailers for this DreamWorks Home movie just being him like going and just like waving his arms around, which seemed very unappealing to me. But I don't know. Maybe it's a fine movie. Maybe it's a fine kids movie. An internet user, what did you watch for Easter? I watched a war movie called Heaven Knows Mr. Allison. Well, that is the name of my daughter, which is interesting. Not spelled the same way, though. Here we go. That's a great question. I have those right here. So I wanted to watch more for Easter. I was kind of trying to do like a Passover Easter movie marathon kind of week. Week got super busy, though, and I wasn't able to watch as much as I wanted to. I did get to watch two, though. I watched for the very first time. Got this last year when the 4K was released. Very excited to finally watch it. I totally missed this one growing up. This came out in '98, and I just missed it for some reason. But my friend, Evan, been on the channel before, who I'm watching Conan with in a couple days, loves this movie, one of his favorites growing up, and had him over. We watched it together, and it was great to watch it with him for the first time. Beautiful 4K restoration. This is Prince of Egypt. Great movie. Love this, love the animation style, especially the scene, the dream sequence where it goes into like Egyptian hieroglyphic style. Really love this one. Like I said, it was great to watch it with a fan of the movie, just to seeing him gushing about it the whole time. He was very respectful, though. He wasn't one of those guys that was like talking through the movie. So he was great. Loved watching it with him, and I really enjoyed that one. One of the better DreamWorks movies. They were killing it in the 90s. I love this. A couple years later in 2000, they did The Road to El Dorado, which I really love too. I wish they had kept the 2D animated thing going. The audience just wanted 3D, man. Audiences wanted 3D, and they couldn't do any more 2D. But they were killing it in this time period. I love their stuff, and that's a great movie to watch around Passover if you're interested. The other movie I watched was this little guy right here from little known director out of New York. This is Last Temptation of Christ. Watched this again last year. This year, I think I watched it last year, and didn't really connect with it. Didn't really like it, unfortunately. So I wanted to give it another shot. I actually listened to the commentary, which is on this disc. Somebody has uploaded it to YouTube. Some gracious YouTuber has uploaded the entire commentary, which is great. It's Scorsese and the writer of this film, and it's a great commentary. Highly recommend you check it out. Completely it really made me want to watch it again, because the first time I think I just went into it with the wrong expectations. I think don't listen to the opening crawl. There's an opening crawl of this film, and I feel like it gets you in the mood for the wrong thing. My expectations were kind of hampered by listening to that opening crawl. The opening crawl says that it's going to be like an exploration of the idea of Jesus Christ as both God and human, which I think is fascinating. But I think the movie itself, and I think Scorsese and the writer would agree, on the actual commentary, they say that they steered more, they overcorrected to the human aspect more, because that's what we usually don't talk about. We usually talk about Jesus as just God, and we kind of neglect the human side. And I think this, because of that, kind of overcorrects, and it's mostly about him as human. So it wasn't really the exploration of that concept that I was expecting, but knowing that going in a second time, recorrecting those expectations and knowing that it is focusing more on his humanity, I liked it a lot more. I liked what it had to say. I thought it was great, and I was thinking about it for a long while after it, and it'll be one that I revisit a lot. So I'm glad I have it. Very interesting film, and I'm glad I picked it up. I actually picked it up this week, so money well spent. I will revisit that one. So highly recommend that one if you get a chance. Maybe give it a second watch if it doesn't work for you on the first time. And that's why I never like to dog on films that I don't like, because there's always a chance that I'll come back and like it a lot more a second time. So that was what I watched this week. Watched this earlier in Passover week, and then I watched Last Temptation actually on Easter yesterday after the family went home. So that was great. Fun night. Really good, really good. Does not feel like a 2-hour and 45-minute movie. It flies by. What else are people talking about here? Thanks for that little aside. Connor Nielsen, I saw the headline that Daniel Day-Lewis was coming out of retirement to star in Sir Christopher Nolan's next film, and that got me. Yeah, it's funny how we're so used to it, and we still fall for it sometimes. Ethan Edwards, love Wagon Master. The dance scene is great. Brian Hadsel, so is anybody else watching anything for Toshiro Mifune's birthday today? I'm thinking of revisiting my all-time favorite movie for the occasion, Seven Samurai. Oh, that's great. I don't have time to watch that today because it's already almost 10 o'clock here, but that's great. That would be a great time to watch. I didn't know it was his birthday. Sorry about that. Connor Nielsen, that DreamWorks animated film Home 2015 was bad. That's what I assumed, but I didn't want to make assumptions, you know? Ethan Edwards also has a ton of movies named Mother. Many great ones, too. Yeah, we got Pudvo Kin, Bong Joon-ho, Albert Brooks. Yeah, I want to see Bong Joon-ho's Mother. Isn't there also one by Aronofsky named Mother? That'd be an interesting video to make. Like movie titles with the most movies, or like movie titles that have at least 5 or 6 movies with the same title. Let's see. This is from Senior Sticks. DJ, have you considered a Toy Story Criterion? Well, I don't have any say in what gets made into a Criterion, but no, I haven't. I mean, I guess we all kind of thought of it a little bit when Wall-E came out a few years ago, but I think that was more just the director really, really wanting that to happen and kind of berating Disney until they let it happen. I don't think there's any more of that coming soon, but Toy Story would be a good one for Criterion, I think, because it's kind of a landmark animated film, the first full feature film that was in 3D animation, which I think they would gravitate more towards like those kind of landmarks, milestone video or in film industry instead of just kind of good animated movies. So that's kind of cool. Senior Sticks also says Hellboy Criterion. I don't think that would ever happen. I know they have a good relationship with Guillermo del Toro, but they seem to gravitate more towards his kind of art films and his passion projects, more so than his studio films. I don't even know if the studio would release the rights to that. And I would think much more so Hellboy 2 would be closer than Hellboy 1, because even Guillermo del Toro himself, if you listen to the commentary, Hellboy 2 was one of his favorite movies that he made at the time, and that's much more a personal movie for him, much more of his style, his fantasy style, than the first one, which is closer to a Hellboy movie. But even still, I've heard from Hellboy fans that it's not even that close to Hellboy. It's still very different, but especially Hellboy 2 just goes in a completely different direction, and I love that movie. What a great movie. Let's see. Dan's Dead and The Last Temptation of Christ is not for everyone. Couldn't agree more. That's obviously gonna mileage may vary on that one. I know a lot of people can't get into that one. But yeah, like I said, it worked better on a second viewing for me. Internet user, the score for Last Temptation is fantastic. That is true. That's something I picked up more on a second time as well. I would love to listen to that. Just kind of, I like to listen to scores all the time, like when I'm doing work or when I'm doing chores or something, or even driving. So I'm going to pop that one in this week and kind of listen to it a little bit more. Even though Easter's over, who cares? We can keep it going. Jeffrey E. Patron, it's interesting in the context of a film like The Gospel According to Matthew, which had an almost documentary style approach. Yes, and I wanted to rewatch that. So Jeffrey Patron is mentioning a Pasolini film I had a whole plan this year, man. I was going to buy the Pasolini box set from Criterion. I was going to watch Gospel According to Matthew. I'm going to call it that because he had a big problem. The director had a big problem with it being called, they changed the title to St. Matthew afterwards, and apparently he really didn't like that. So I'm going to respect the director and call it Gospel According to Matthew. And I really wanted to rewatch that. I saw that a couple years ago as well. I love Pasolini. He is such a fascinating director, and I love his work, and that really inspired Scorsese to make Last Temptation of Christ. If you don't know the story, he wanted to make a religious film. He always did. It's a big passion project for him, but he really only had the big Hollywood epics to go off of. And once he saw Pasolini's Gospel According to Matthew, which, like Jeffrey said, is very much the naturalistic neorealism, Italian neorealism style that Pasolini likes to work in. Lots of just non-actors playing the roles. I think his actual mother plays the mother of Mary in that film, and non-actors playing the disciples and stuff like that. So a very naturalistic depiction, and not like the big Hollywood epics like a Cecil B. DeMille version. And that really spoke to Scorsese, and he wanted to make a film in the same vein. So he made Last Temptation of Christ, which focuses a lot more on the humanity. So if he didn't get Pasolini's film, we probably wouldn't have got Last Temptation from Scorsese, or at least not in the same way. So I wanted to watch both of those kind of like back to back this week. Like I said, I just didn't have enough time to check it out. So missed my opportunity, but maybe I'll do it. Maybe next year. There's always next year. Easter comes every year. Nacho says, yes, Gospel According to Matthew is good. It is good. I really like that one. That one I only needed one watch to really appreciate. Dan Stan says, Wall-E, Criterion happened because Stanton pushed for it. Disney has no interest in anything else unless it's a Wes Anderson film. And I'm fine with that. Keep the Wes Anderson films coming. We're way behind. We don't have Isle of Dogs on Criterion. We don't have one of my favorites, French Dispatch, we haven't got to yet. And I need all of the Netflix shorts. Wes Anderson, please tell me that you had those shorts that built into your contract, that if you made those Netflix shorts, that they would still be able to be released by Criterion, because that would be an awesome box set to get all those shorts in one. I need that. And I was hoping, since he made a film and 5 shorts last year, that he was going to take a break and finally start working with Criterion again and not make anything new. But the Madman's already making another film. We've already got like news about his next film, so he can't stop. So until he stops working on new films, I don't know if he's gonna have time to work with Criterion on the restorations and stuff, but hopefully that happens soon, because I really need a French Dispatch Criterion. Ethan Edwards says Ratatouille would be a good Criterion. I agree. That's one of my favorites. That would work great. Let's see. Nacho, yes. Mother from Darren Aronofsky. Yes. Okay, I thought I was right about that. I haven't seen that one yet, but I like Aronofsky stuff. Tired Boy's here. Wow, I'm a Tired Boy as well. Sup, DJ? Missed the last few streams, but glad to be here for the end of this one. Haha, hope you and the fam are doing well. Fam's doing great. Fam is all up in each other's business this evening, or this week, because my son is out on spring break. So he's home all week while we both work from home. So that's fun. And then my daughter was also home today because she's got a little bit of, I don't know if it's full-on conjunctivitis or a little, just an infection in her eye. So we didn't want to send her to school or daycare and infect other people. So both of them are here all day. Luckily, they're at the same age, close enough where they can, play with each other. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough working from home when you've got 2 kids at home. But we're doing good. We're doing well. We got a lot of Easter candy to get through. Kevin House, Scorsese, the King of Comedy, also is not for everyone, but I think it's fascinating. I am very excited to check out King of Comedy. I haven't seen that one yet, but I really, really like After Hours, and I've been told by most people that are big Scorsese fans that if I liked After Hours, that King of Comedy is probably the next place I should go. So I'm excited to check out King of Comedy. Those are the next 2 on my list. King of Comedy as kind of a pseudo sequel to After Hours, and then Silence. I want to watch Silence because I just watched Last Temptation, his 2 big religious movies. So got to watch those 2 next. I know Silence is also a long one, so got to find a way to watch that one. Watch Guys here. I've never seen Last Temptation, but one of my hippie teachers at my Lutheran school showed us. So that sounds like a cool teacher showing you Scorsese films. My teachers in school only showed us like National Treasure. I think we watched National Treasure at school in my history class, which is hilarious. Let's see. Internet user, it looks like... Oh, sorry, let me finish the rest of that. Watch Guy says that teacher showed them parts of Jesus Christ Superstar in school. See, I've never seen that one. That's another big religious film that has got a huge cult following. I'd like to check that one out at some point because I like musicals. Might like that one. Let us see what other people are saying. Ethan Edwards says the gospel according to St. Matthew or unibrow Jesus. Yeah, he's got quite a pronounced brow in that film, but very handsome man, very, very good looking Italian man, if you're into that kind of thing. I mean, Willem Dafoe also very handsome looking Jesus. That was very young Willem Dafoe. Very, 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 I don't know. I guess I didn't know because I've only known him like in the later years as like a character actor. But yeah, he was a strapping young William Dafoe back in the day. Let's see. Watch Guy. Apart from the first Lord of the Rings film, my favorite Del Toro is Pan's Labyrinth. Well, Lord of the Rings is not Del Toro, actually. It is Peter Jackson. But Del Toro was supposed to do the Hobbit movies. Ended up not happening, unfortunately. But I think that would have been cool. But yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is hands down one of the best Del Toro films. I think my favorites are Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water. Another of my favorite. But also, all three of the Criterion ones are great. You've got Devil's Backbone and Kronos. Way, way up there. All in my top 5 of his films. Ethan Edwards says Scorsese is doing a Jesus film at the request of the Pope. That's another reason I want to watch Silence, because I had heard that that's the next Scorsese film that he's making is another religious epic. So he's kind of got a trilogy going, so I need to see the second one so I can go ahead and watch the third one. I'm on a Scorsese kick lately. I also need to watch Mean Streets, which I picked up in the last sale. And yeah, I just watched his film from last year, so I'm on a Scorsese kick. Hopefully I can check out those other few before his new one comes out. Nacho also reiterating the same thing, that he's making another one. It'll be interesting to see. I didn't realize it was commissioned by the Pope. That kind of gives me pause. I hope they let him do his thing and he doesn't get too much, because that was the thing with I think Pasolini's version, Gospel According to Matthew. He had to kind of walk the line a little bit with his style because he had to kind of stay in line with what the Catholic Church wanted at the time, which is unfortunate. You know, let filmmakers do what they want to do. Don't give him too many notes. Don't give him too many notes, Pope. Let Scorsese do his thing. Dan's Dan, gotta watch Handgun to finish up the religious trilogy. And then Ethan Edwards says Handgun is the other Scorsese religious epic. Oh, I didn't know he already had a third one. Interesting. I do have to watch that. That's really cool. I have to look that up after the stream. Let's see. Dan's Dan, his Jesus film is supposedly only 80 minutes. Whoa, that's crazy. Scorsese, 80 minutes? Which would be amazing given that Scorsese, much as I love him, his work has gotten kind of indulgent. Yeah. I feel like that's a that's a safe criticism. I feel like most people would agree with you on that. His films have been getting longer and longer. I know Silence is 3 hours. His film this year was also over 3 hours, I believe. So yeah. I feel like it's a good note. I don't know if he needs to go all the way down to 80 minutes, though. That's super short. Tired Boy said, I just rewatched Silence for the first time since seeing it in theaters. Quite possibly my favorite Scorsese. Super rough watch, though. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a big Andrew Garfield fan, and Scorsese's great, and it's a subject matter that's really interesting to me. So I can't wait. I'm pumped. Everyone who knows me and knows my taste said I'm probably really going to like Silence, so I'm excited. Let's see. Ethan Edwards, I've owned the Lord of the Rings movies on Blu-ray for years, and I just can't bring myself to ever watch them. Oh man. Yeah, I imagine it's tougher to watch those at home. I'm glad I got to see those in the theater, but I love Lord of the Rings. I think the first one is the best. I think you could probably get away with watching Fellowship and then stopping if you wanted to. That's my favorite. Doesn't get any better than Fellowship for me. But I know a lot of people like Two Towers is their favorite, and Return of the King is also a lot of people's favorite. But if you like more of just the journey, quest, hero's journey type movies, Fellowship of the Ring is the best. It turns into more of kind of a war trilogy after that, and there's lots of political stuff going on. Not as bad as like Game of Thrones or something like that, but it does kind of turn into a different thing. So I really like the first one. Fellowship is great. Someone in a recent video asked me how to watch Lord of the Rings. I don't have any tips. It's either your thing or it's not your thing. I would recommend putting the phone away and just kind of preparing yourself for a long ride, especially if you're watching the extended cuts. I'd probably recommend the theatrical if you're a first time watcher, but I always watch the extended cuts if you have the time because it's great. But I'm a fantasy sword and sorcery book fan, so I'm used to that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's not for everybody. Just like Last Temptation of Christ, not for everybody. Let me know if you ever check it out, Ethan, because I would love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I know some people in my life that just can't do it. But I love it. They're one of my favorites, especially Fellowship. That's a top 100 for me, for sure. Kevin House, when I was in school, the extent of our drug education was the teacher showing us the 70s TV movie Go Ask Alice about a girl hooked on drugs. Wow. You know what I like? It's not about drugs, it's about alcohol, but there's an episode of the Incredible Hulk TV show called Alice in Disco Land. There you go. Same kind of thing. I haven't seen Go Ask Alice, but Alice in Disco Land is a great episode of the Bill Bixby Hulk show where he saves this girl from her addiction to alcohol. If you don't know anything about that show, it's basically just him going around from town to town as like a hobo, just getting involved in people's business and and kind of saving people without the need for Hulk until he eventually needs Hulk to like beat up some bad guys at the very end of the episode. He only morphs twice. He's not a Power Ranger. I don't know why I said morph. He only transforms twice. But yeah, I love that show. And Alice in Disco Land stood out to me for some reason as a really fun episode. There's also one where he's like, there's like this sanatorium, like insane asylum where people are like being tortured and abused. Very dark. That show got to some real dark places, but I love it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Nacho. Yes, that's correct. 80 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. You sure that's not an April Fool's Day joke? Because that is nuts. And Ethan Edwards says also it'll be Jesus in the modern world. This is getting more and more insane. This is crazy. Jesus in the modern world. What? In Scorsese we trust, I guess, but that sounds crazy. Tired Boy says, speaking of Del Toro, did you hear that the new Alien movie is going to use mostly practical effects? Besides Nosferatu and Longlegs, that's my most anticipated horror movie. As I'm losing my voice completely, no, I didn't hear about that. That sounds really cool. Are you talking about the franchise Alien, or is it just an Alien movie? Ooh. Hopefully that water will help. I'm starting to lose my voice, so we might have to wrap this up here a little bit. I didn't even mention I wore this Marvel shirt because we're talking about the Marvel Steelbooks. Hopefully you put that together. But yeah, I didn't know about that Alien movie. I never know what's coming out. I always catch up at the end of the year. There's just too many movies, and I got to keep track of the stuff that's coming out on physical. I can't also keep track of the stuff that's coming to theaters. But let's see what we got here. Ethan Edwards says, funny you mentioned Game of Thrones. I tried watching that too and could only get through a few episodes. Yeah, it sounds like Sword and Sorcery just isn't your thing. I also wasn't into Game of Thrones. Not a big fan of like deconstruction entertainment, and that was all that was, which is what he's kind of known for. He also did the same thing with superheroes too, the same author. I couldn't get into it. I watched like the first episode and dropped off. Later, my wife got really into it though, and so I watched it with her, and I got to like season 4 and I dropped off again. But I did make it a little bit further. There's good things about it, but it's just not for me. But I do like Lord of the Rings. Sorry about all the clearing the throat. I can't, there's like a little frog back there that I can't get out, and it's making me sound like a raspy old lady. WI Watch Guy, I think Last Temptation came out around Defoe's big run in the late 80s. I like Mississippi Burning from that run. 2000's Shadow of the Vampire is excellent too. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I missed his early stuff, but I really liked him in this. He's great. For what they're doing, obviously it's not great choice for like an actual like attempt at realism there, but for this he worked really well, and I liked him a lot, especially a second time when I understood what they were doing a little bit more. Kevin House, to warn us about alcohol, they showed us Sarah T with Linda Blair, another 70s teen movie. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting them to. Did you have a little cart with a little box TV? Did they wheel that in and show you all these? Because that's what they did in elementary school for me. Gus Emeretti, Alice in Disco Land, LOL. Does she do coke in the bathroom using $100 bill? I don't believe so. I think it's just alcohol, just the dangers of alcohol in that episode, but I could be wrong. I don't remember everything that happens, but I do love that show, and I'd love to go back to it. I haven't seen it in years. Tired Boy, anybody here excited for that Lord of the Rings anime that's dropping in December? Wild that it's getting a theatrical release. I'm pretty sure it's by the guy who directed OG Ghost in the Shell. What? This is a night of crazy things. I knew there was an animated Riders of the Rohirrim movie coming out, but I didn't know it was anime. That is fascinating. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm very happy that it's getting a theatrical release, though, because frickin' what's his name? Zaslav seems to hate animation and cancel anything that's animated. So hopefully that's good if it's getting past him and it's actually getting a theatrical release. I'll go see it. I'm not excited. I'm not super excited about a Riders of the Rohirrim movie. That's not really what I gravitate towards in the Lord of the Rings universe, but hopefully it's good. I'll definitely watch it. Internet user Del Toro has done a 4K restoration for Kronos. It may be coming soon. Oh, interesting. I would love that. I think I love Kronos more than anybody else. That's one of my top 4 favorite Del Toro movies. I really like it. First film, he nailed it. Knocked it out of the park right away. I'd love a 4K restoration. I don't know if I want to own that. I already own that movie twice. I own the standard Blu-ray and then I own the box set from Criterion. I don't know if I want to buy it a fourth time, but I'm sure it would look great in 4K. Also getting a 4K release this year is his movie Mimic, his first American movie. Kronos, I think, is his first feature-length film overall, and then Mimic was his first American film, which was a travesty. Completely got, couldn't... I don't know if it was him being a new director, couldn't handle working in the Hollywood system, or if it's just the particular producers that he was working with just kind of railroading everything, but I know that was a very troubled production, and he really doesn't like that film. So interesting that it's getting a 4K release with another different cut. Maybe that cut helps a little bit. That was a very mixed bag for me. Not one of my favorites, but I understand why it came out the way it did. Let's see. Ethan Edwards, we figured the shirt was an April Fool's joke. Love you, Ethan. Never change. Tired Boy, yeah, hey ha, haha. Alien, Romulus, it takes place between Alien and Aliens. I think it's going to be amazing. Wow, going all the way back. Making that a trilogy, I guess, and then full practical effects. That's great. I hope it's closer to Alien than Aliens, because I'm a much more of an Alien fan than Aliens. Maybe it's kind of a transition between those, because I think it's a pretty stark contrast between those two films. I'm not really an action movie guy, so the second one doesn't appeal to me as much as the bottle horror movie that the first one is. Like it a lot. Hopefully this one is right there, but I don't know the director. I don't think I'm familiar with the director. Maybe I am. I don't know his name, so... someone said it was Fede Alvarez, so I don't know that director. So hopefully it's good. Tired Boy, Shadow of the Vampire is super cool. Such a wild concept for a movie. I think he's talking to Ethan about something, but they're talking about that because it's got a William Dafoe performance in it. Michael Smith says, I went into Pan's Labyrinth thinking it was a children's movie. Not. It's not a children's movie, but it is a movie about childhood, which I love, and I think Guillermo del Toro I have a kindred spirit with Del Toro. He makes a lot of those movies about childhood, which is why I want to see Spirit of the Beehive, which is a film that he didn't direct but inspired him early on, and I want to watch that because it seems like something I would really like. I need to finally get around to it. Dan Stan says Mimic was a Weinstein joint. Makes sense why that was such a mess. Yeah, it's not great. I actually really like some of the concepts and the setup for that film. That's where you can see it goes all the way back to Kronos, where you can see Del Toro, his love for insects and kind of that mythology, or making that mythology. That's Mimic kind of carries that insect theme on as well. I loved all that stuff. I thought that was fascinating. It just kind of devolves into just a generic monster horror movie and kind of loses me at a certain point, but I loved all the setup stuff. Very, very cool. Maybe there's a better cut. I don't know. Watch Guy says, thoughts on Prometheus and Covenant? Seem to be very polarizing. I like them both, but more so Prometheus. I would be with you on that. I actually really, really liked Prometheus. That's another one, speaking of Mimic, very similar situation where I love the setup, love the first 2 acts of Prometheus, and then it, in my opinion, just devolves into kind of a dumb horror slasher kind of movie at that point, and I just lose interest. I think the lead actress, who's that, Noomi Rapace, I think she was awesome. I loved her. I love Fassbender. Fassbender was amazing. Really, really like Prometheus. I like that quite a bit. I loved all the opening stuff and all the questions about it, like our origins and like faith and religion and all that stuff. Love that stuff. Don't like the last act, and then the next one for me just took everything I didn't like about Prometheus and just made it a whole movie. And I really didn't like the second one, whatever it's called, Covenant. I know a lot of people like that one. That has a following. Not for me. I loved most of Prometheus and still love it. Still have a soft spot for that one. I went back to it recently. I think I showed Grace. There's a very scarring birth scene, C-section scene, so prepare yourself for that. That scene is very visceral, but it's very, very well done. A lot of practical stuff in that movie. Obviously, a lot of digital stuff as well. But no, I like Prometheus. Did not like Covenant at all, but who knows? Maybe I need to give it another watch. I only saw it once. Maybe there's something there for me. Let's see. Ethan Edwards, if you didn't know, Shadow of the Vampire is an account of the making of of Nosferatu. That's, wow, I didn't know that. That's actually really interesting. So it's like a biopic about the making of a film. That sounds awesome. And I love Nosferatu. If you didn't see, I don't know if I talked about that on the channel or not. I think I did. I think it was in our video, but I watched that for the first time last year and loved it. And I really want to get the Kino Lorber version of that in the collection because I want to watch that. Perfect movie to watch around Halloween time. But no, I didn't know Shadow of the Vampire was about that. That's actually really cool. Internet user says Del Toro will be making Frankenstein adaptation, right? I think Andrew Garfield will be in it. Yes, sir. And this guy will be right there opening day to watch that. Del Toro and Andrew Garfield in one movie? Yes. Sign me up. Sign me up. Take my money. Take all of my money. Take my IMAX money, my popcorn $30 cup money, whatever you need. Take it. I don't think it's going to get an IMAX release, but I'm very excited to watch that. Love me some Andrew Garfield. Love me some Del Toro. So that should be great. And I don't think... I'm not a big fan of any of the Frankenstein adaptations that we have. I haven't seen Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but I know I'm crazy. I know everyone loves those, but I'm not a big fan of the originals. So I'd love to see a Frankenstein adaptation that I like, and I think Del Toro can do that for me. So I'm excited. That is something I'm excited about. I totally forgot that was happening. Thank you, internet user, for reminding me of that. That's a new release I'm excited about. Nacho says I got the Criterion for The Spirit of the Beehive, and I love it. I can't wait. I also have the Criterion, and I need to hurry up and watch it. I think I put it on my watch list to watch this year, so hopefully I get to that. I'm very excited to check that one out. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, no. Okay. Well, Nacho says it's not Andrew. He left the project. It's now Jacob Ellerdy, which I don't know. Maybe I know who that is. I don't immediately know who that is. So that's a bummer. That's a bummer that I had heard he was on there. But yeah, oh well. I'm sure I'll still like it. I like Del Toro's stuff. I agree. Prometheus was great and Covenant kind of sucked. Pretty sad because Prometheus was supposed to be Ridley Scott's Avatar in a way. I think he had 6 movies planned or something wild like that. Okay, so you agree with me. I know there's other people that don't. I know there's a lot of people that hate Prometheus as well. But yeah, it was working for me. I did not like where it went though with the sequel. Oh, great. Internet user says, I think Frankenstein adaptation will be on Netflix. That means I'm going to have to pay for another month of Netflix. We just got it towards the end of the Oscar season, so I could watch a couple things on there and then canceled it. I don't like Netflix. I don't want to pay for it, but I guess they charge you like $24 a month for their 4K. It's stupid. So stupid. It made sense around Oscar season because I watched, several things and got my money's worth there, all the Anderson shorts and all the other stuff. But yeah, I don't want to pay $24 just to watch. I love you, Del Toro, but I don't want to pay that much just to watch one film. Hopefully it gets a theatrical release. I'd love to see it in the theater. All right, let us start wrapping this up. Okay, Dan Sten says he played Elvis in Priscilla and was in Saltburn. I didn't see either of those films, so I guess I don't know who this actor is, but hopefully he does well. Hopefully he's good in this Del Toro upcoming film. Woo! I have been talking nonstop for that last hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little, mostly Q&A this evening. Very short week. Hopefully you're excited about those Steelbooks that are coming out, and we'll have more stuff to talk about next week. A lot of boutique stuff. We'll get back on track with boutique stuff next week. We've got stuff coming out from Criterion, stuff coming out from, I think, Arrow. But yeah, got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we'll talk more about that stuff next week. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys watching after the fact or in the live show, whichever one. Always appreciate the support. If you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button, subscribe. We do the show every Monday night, like I said, and I'd love to have you here if you want to join us live. Thank you guys for being in the live chat and all of the fun conversation tonight. I didn't even have to get into the stuff that I was going to talk about. I got the new Fargo release from Shout Select. We watched that recently. That one still holds up. Still one of my favorite movies from the Coen brothers. And I've got a stack of other stuff here. So I'll be doing videos on that since it didn't really come up tonight. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, keep collecting. And I'll be back with another video real soon.